Sense is run by a bunch of investment bankers, and their modus operandi.
Hello, I'm Fernando Luque, editor for Morningstar, and I'm joined today by Eric Biasset. Eric Biasset is the manager of the Generali Small and Mid Cap Euro Equities. Eric, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
My first question, Eric, is related to one research we have published in our website. And the analyst who has done the research argues that in the US at least, it is better to invest in large cap versus small caps. And he based these arguments on three reasons. The first one is valuations. The second one is the quality of the balance sheets, which are, in his opinion, higher in large cap than in small caps. And the third one is that large cap are more exposed to those rapid emerging economies than the small caps. Do you agree with this view in the US? Do we have the same in Europe? Probably you will argue against these arguments.
No. It's difficult for me to speak about large cap because I am focused on mid cap, and I try to speak about what I know, I understand well. So, but just to come back on this argument, over the past 10 years, small caps overperformed every year, except 2 years, but it was very close, big caps. And over the last, if we take a bigger, longer term, it's the same. So perhaps it may change, perhaps for a couple of months. But regarding valuation, today the premium of small caps versus big caps is about 10 to 20%. If we take price-earning ratio or EV to EBITDA ratio. This is not a lot when you consider the historical premium first, and when you consider the extra growth that you have on small caps. We check that on in the past. You have more growth in small caps. That was the case in the recent years specifically. So the premium is quite low. The other argument was the
quality of the balance sheet.
Yeah, the quality. So the quality of the balance sheet is also very good now for small cap. They did their homework during the crisis, and also they are well exposed to emerging market. That's surprised me, but within my investment, many companies are producing more than 1/3 of their sales in emerging countries already. Perhaps it's a little bit more for big caps, but I had a comparison on figures were very close. So arguments are quite good, but I think both are quite attractive. Finally.
So we can have exposure to emerging market through a small and mid cap company.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk now about the process you are following in selecting companies for your fund. What is this process? I know that you have a particular discounted cash flow model that you use for selecting companies. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yes, for sure. So our approach is stock picking. I used to be a financial analyst for 10 years. I've been a fund manager for 11 years now. And my approach is a stock picking approach. So I try to find companies which are not too much dependent on the cycle environment, on the GDP expectation, and to work on company one by one, and to find company with growth potential due to megatrend, due to emerging exposure, due to outsourcing trend, due to exceptional concept. So I try to find this kind of company. So that's my investment style. I like growth company, but as you said, I use a discounted cash flow model because for me it's the only way to value a company is using a discounted cash flow. So discounted the future cash flow is the only way. After that, you can use a PE to compare a company to another, but to say if a PE of 8 or 10 or 20 is high or not, It's a question of demand and supply. Yeah? So discounted cash flow versus growth, because growth, sometimes price is quite high, so I like to check this with the valuation. And regarding the process on the company we also like company with track record. We are very cautious on company which are new, which just discovered a new concept which will be better than Microsoft, or I don't know. We like company with 10 years track record. So in our process, to conclude, we meet the management. We do a screening looking at growth, return on capital invested, creating value or not. After that, we meet the management. Then we check on the barrier to entry, on the growth expectation, on the track record. What did they do with the free cash flow in the past? Some things we like, but a big crazy deal we don't like, for example. And after that, we work on the valuation. And then we came from the universe, which is very large. Regarding big cap, I think that's one strong argument, 3,000 companies, to our selection of 80 to 90 companies we have in the portfolio.
Can you give us a couple of examples of companies that have a long-term track record, that have growth characteristics, and that you have included in your portfolio?
Okay, so for example, we like one sector, which is the sector of testing, inspection and certification. So Bureau Veritas, there are 3 companies listed in that sector, within that sector. Bureau Veritas, listed in France, SGS, listed in Switzerland, and Intertek, listed in the UK. This sector of testing of products, quality of products, the inspection of industrial process, for example, certification of new product also. This sector is growing. What are the driver of this growth? That's mega trend. I mean, it is regulation, which is increasing, especially with accident, with new chemical products which are forbidden and so on. So regulation, security problem, and outsourcing. More and more, Walmart, Carrefour outsource their quality division to these kind of companies. So that's an example of sector and of company we like.
Are there sectors that you are trying to avoid because you don't like them?
So yeah, we due to my view, my approach, my process, we are generally underweight on the sector which are kind of black box for us, so very difficult from outside to understand what could be the profit, what could be the driver, and so I mean financial sector. It's very difficult from outside to analyze it. Healthcare sector, sometimes they have defensive. They are attractive for defensive characteristic, but also the pipeline is very difficult to value. And IT companies, we are also sometimes skeptical on our ability to evaluate the real process, the barrier to entry to these kind of companies.
You mentioned that you are trying to find companies with growth potential. But if we look at our style box, our style box characterizes your fund as a mid-value. Are you comfortable with this classification? You can say no.
I'm not sure. I just checked the valuation of my portfolio, and the price-earning ratio is at about 10 times the average price-earning ratio for my portfolio is about 10 times next year, with cautious valuation for next year. So, it's okay. It could be a value, 10 times PE, but I think we try to manage. How do you say, security, meaning that we try to avoid a disappointment, because with small caps, when you have a problem, it could be a big problem which takes time to be solved. we try to avoid also high valuation, highly valued company, because as we like growth companies, sometimes growth is very attractive and is very expensive. And if you have an accident, it's a big issue. So finally, we like growth, so not really value, but at a price really reasonable. So it's a kind of GARP approach. And today, due to the low valuation of the market, it could be value also, perhaps.
Yeah. Okay, Eric, thank you very much for your view on the small and mid-cap Euro companies. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you to you.
Is run by Hayes investment bankers, and Morningstar's modus operandi. Run by Hayes investment bankers, and Morningstar's modus operandi.